What kind of ice cream's that?
Cornetto.
Is it? Yeah, but what's the flavour of that one? Mint, is it? Do you like it? So is ice cream your favourite kind of food?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your favourite food?
Chips.
Chips? What, by themselves?
Yeah. No, with egg. Sausages.
What do you have for breakfast?
Ice cream.
If your mum and dad said, look, you can have what you like this year, what would be a real treat for you?
A motorbike.
Well, my own television so I can watch it when I go to bed.
Your own TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
I love that.
Yeah. So do you like watching videos on television?
Yeah.
Or do you like just watching the television that comes off, you know, like from the BBC and that?
Video.
What about school now? Listen, do you like school?
No.
Well, none of you? None of you like school? No. Now, supposing you did not go to school for the next 6 years, what do you think is going to happen to you when you're 16? Be on the dole? Well, you don't want to be on the dole, do you? What would you think it would be like to be poor?
Nobody's that poor. Nobody's not got a penny, have they?
So you don't really know anybody that's really poor, do you?
I mean, you hear people say, oh, I'm hard up, I haven't got any money, but that's not true.
It's not
At least they
entirely.
got a house and a car and that.
You know, I bet there's not a child in the world who wouldn't want to be on a day like this, in a park like this, having the kind of fun this like. You've had a good time here, haven't you?
Yes!
Yeah, we've been talking about all the things that they like doing, the things they don't like doing, their favourite clothes, their favourite food, the television shows they don't want to watch, the kind of shoes they've got and how many they've got. And it seems to me that every day of their lives, they've got a fantastic number of choices. But our film is about a whole lot of kids who have no choice at all.
Look at all the children, don't it almost break your heart? Reach out and touch one, reach out and help one, make a brand new start. It's a small world, just a tiny planet. It's a small world. Ever since the earth began, it's been a small world. Here's the message needed. It's a small world. You gotta get where it's most needed. Take a look at what you got. Compare it to your neighbor. And the little that you need to give is gonna be a lifesaver. It's a small world.
You know, through my association with Tearfund, I've been able to visit a number of countries on the less privileged side of our world. Haiti is one of the neediest places I've been. In fact, I learned that it's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. In Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti, I met Jonas George, a captain in the Salvation Army, and he showed me around some of the areas he works in. Port-au-Prince has doubled in size in the last 10 years. The city draws people like a magnet. Hundreds stream in from the countryside every day, but few of them actually find work. And in slum areas like Saint-Martin, the conditions are desperate. There is no medical care, no sewage, and no police protection. There is 75% unemployment. 90% of the children cannot go to school. And because of nutritional and health problems, 40% of the children die before the age of 5. It was in the midst of conditions like these that Jonas took me to visit the Richard family. How many people live in this area?
This is about 100,000 here.
100,000?
No exaggeration.
Wow.
No exaggeration whatsoever.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, c'est Monsieur François Richard. C'est le père de la famille. Bonjour. Venez, non, madame.
The Richards live in a one-room house off a tiny courtyard. In this confined space, the family of 9 must cook, eat, sleep, and they even keep chickens. Francois Richard is an unskilled laborer who often can't find work.
He is coming from the south of Haiti, in a town named Ansavo.
And is that typical of people who live in this area? Have they come in from the country?
Yes. Almost everybody here has come from the country in the past 20 years.
Why does he feel it's so important for his children to go to school?
Bon, puisque nous pas arriver trop loin à l'école, pourquoi vous pensez que petit ou yo doit apprendre en pile, doit connaître bien? Okay. You would do all that you can to help the children to go as far as possible in school, so that they in turn will help them with the children, will help the family.
Yeah.
That's a general trend, that the father would the family would bring up one of the children and do as much as possible for that child, and so that the child will in turn help with the
running of the family. Pelio, one of the younger children, has a problem with his teeth. And because the family cannot afford medical help, his whole mouth is swollen up. When we asked this gentleman what his hopes for the future were, he sort of said that this little boy here was his baton VAS, which is his walking stick for his old age. And when we asked the little kid whether he went to school, he said, yeah. And when we said, do you enjoy it? He said, yeah, I enjoy it because I want to help my mother. And, you know, this is what survival is all about. I mean, we've got to learn how to survive from them because they live on the brink of it all the time. The families all stay together. Grandmothers don't get sent off anywhere. Aunts actually live in the same building. It's a real close-knit community thing. And this little boy will be with his dad till the end. And that's real survival. Well, merci et au revoir.
Merci beaucoup.
Bientôt.
À bientôt.
Merci. During my time in Port-au-Prince, I talked to Claude Noel, who is the president of the Council of Evangelical Churches of Haiti. And I was able to get his perspective on the problems. What do you think are the needs of the children of Haiti, and how, if anything, are you able to help them?
The hope of Haiti is on its youth. They say that about 70% of the people of Haiti are under 30 years of age. When you go to our churches, you'll find them full of young people under 20, and children fill up the churches. And it is the time now for us to prepare for the church of tomorrow and for the society, for the Haitian society of tomorrow. We put education at the first place in bringing up the church in Haiti. You know, we have a program working with street women, street beggars, and I have found out that 99% of these people do not know how to read.
No.
Which means that the people who know how to read, they find a way to make a living.
So education is absolutely at the top of the list.
It's very important.
Yeah.
And beside education, it's the fact that we have to make these children able to study. Because without the proper nutrition, we have a lot of children suffering with malnutrition, what the doctors call kwashiorkor.
Oh, yes, I know.
And you have these children in the street, in the school, they can't study, they can't learn, they are sleepy.
Yeah.
Sometimes they could even pass out from the classroom. And when you question the doctor, you find out that the problem is that these children are not eating.
So they need educating and they need feeding.
We do know here that 2/3 of the people in the world are going to bed hungry every night, and we are part of it.
By the same sea of trouble that stretches back home. Love and love, you got troubles of your own. Yes, I got troubles, won't you come on and see? I got my needs, just follow me, but they're gonna ease by and by if you tell all the people that it's no lie.
I wrote that song on this boat as I crossed from mainland Haiti to the little island of Gonave. I'd gone there basically to see what was being done through Tearfund's child sponsorship program and to meet Gertrude Falk, a Wesleyan missionary who was in charge of the project. She told me that education is the key element.
Yes, it is.
What are they taught?
Reading, writing, arithmetic, basics, and also
Basics,
Bible.
yeah. Oh, Bible. So the teachers are Christians?
Yes, they're all Christians.
Oh, terrific. Oh, here's the class, ready and waiting. Bonjour. Asseyez-vous. Oh, my French is really coming along. What does it actually mean to a child to be sponsored? Do they actually understand what's happening?
Well, some of the children wouldn't be here in school today if that weren't for the sponsorship program.
They just wouldn't be
No,
here.
they wouldn't be able to attend school at all.
Par exemple, on dit ainsi, vérité. Comment est-ce qu'il a dit ça? Vérité. Répétez. Répétez ensemble.
I was glad to see that schooling wasn't all work and no play. Formidable! Our last task in the school was to deliver a present to one of the children from Tearfund's Overseas Family Care Gift Fund.
Which is the boy?
Kileski Luima.
Ah, bonjour. Je m'appelle Cliff. Ah, this is Louis. Each year, the children receive 2 special gifts from the gift fund, one at Christmas and one mid-year. Now then, Gertrude, I think you better tell this little lad that his present is this goat.
Okay, Frère Luima, kabrit la pou, tande?
Tearfund will send a few pounds, and the person who runs the local program will ask the children what they would like to buy with the money. Gertrude told me that they usually want something practical that will help their family. A chicken, a pair of shoes, or even a goat. You must be thrilled, mustn't he?
Yeah, yes, that's a nice mama goat.
In our part of the world, giving a gift to one particular child might well cause jealousy. But Gertrude told me that in Haiti, people have the habit of sharing what they have with each other. What will they do with it? Sell it?
No, it'll have babies. And then they'll take and they'll raise goats.
Yeah.
That's what they'll do.
Come on.
Bonsoir tout le monde.
Bonsoir. So a gift to one child tends to benefit the whole family and even the whole community. Oh, that's his house there, I guess. Do they own this house?
No, they don't own this house. I understand that someone is just letting them live here.
Oh, they're just, what, rent-free? Louis Ma's family is one of the neediest in the village. His father has abandoned them, and his mother, Ferulia, has a real struggle to feed the 4 children. She makes a little money by trading in the market, but she's unwell, and her baby daughter, Edeline, has a stomach hernia. Look at her little tummy. Is she going to be mended?
She will go to the hospital and have surgery.
I was glad to learn that sponsorship actually helps the whole family. And Ferulia and Edeline are both receiving treatment from the Wesleyan Hospital on Gonave. He looks incredibly well dressed, Louis Ma. I mean, where would he have got that clothing? Would that be a sponsor?
This is Louis Ma's school uniform that
Yeah.
his sponsor bought for him.
Oh, right. And where was it bought made or was it made?
No, they buy the cloth and then they have a tailor sew the uniforms for them.
Gertrude explained that the children regularly write to their overseas sponsors, and they write the letters in class so that the teacher can help them with grammar and spelling.
No, some sponsors write quite often and other sponsors don't write very often at all, but the children are thrilled with the sponsors' letters, so we would like to encourage that they write often to their children.
Oh, I see. So they've written on... That's all the English, and they've
Yes,
translated
this is
it.
written in the English, this is translated into the Creole.
Without help from his sponsor, Louis Ma would have no chance of receiving an education. And he's not the only one to benefit. For instance, Ferulia is now learning to read.
Oui, matin et soir, et vous serez bénis de Dieu.
It was good to think that for both Louis Ma and his family, sponsorship offers a real hope of breaking out of the poverty trap.
children seem to have no choice. The children have got no voice. They're merely living to grow old, letting their days unfold. And it's time that you and I realize that by and by these children grow up into men. And it's clear that we must do what the Lord has told us to, give our brothers a chance to be born again.
You know, La Gonave really taught me something new about the meaning of poverty. I mean, I'd always thought of poverty as a lack of money. But Wes Stafford from Compassion has another way of looking at it. He says poverty is a lack of choice.
In the countries where we come from, we are almost over-choiced out. Have a headache and you have a choice of 20 different kinds of aspirin. Here, it's either medicine or no medicine.
Compassion is an international Christian agency that Tearfund works with to help children in the neediest countries of the world, and that includes Haiti.
Wes, you know, being poor is a problem all over the world, it seems to me, and there's lots of ways of attempting to deal with that. So why do you think the emphasis needs to be on children in particular?
I think poverty is cruelest to children. I think the ills of society tend to filter downward, and the brunt of the cruelest aspects of poverty falls right on the children. They have no choice of what they eat, therefore how healthy do they stay. They're the ones who feel the oppression of poverty most intensely.
2 out of every 5 children born here are dead before their 5th birthday. And of those who survive, nearly all will go through life malnourished. And the problem is complicated by a lack of clean water. On La Gonave, there's hardly any water at all. Like the rest of Haiti, the island was once densely forested and fertile. But over the years, the people have cut down the trees for firewood. They actually had no choice. There was no other source of fuel. And as the trees went, the rainfall dropped, the springs dried up, and clean water became more and more difficult to find. I was shocked to see some of the consequences. Children suffering from diarrhea and other diseases. Children like little Denise, only 3.5 years old, with the ginger hair that indicated malnutrition. And I realized how easily we take clean water for granted. Because of these problems, Tearfund has helped establish a water program on the island, working with the local people, drilling wells, capping springs, and piping down water to the villages.
Well, now the water comes down the pipe from the hill and comes out of this fountain, and of course it's really good water and it's drinkable, which means that life has become a lot easier for the folks here. But it doesn't end there, because in many instances, apparently, this clean water gets out of the tap and is collected in a really dirty bucket. So the whole hygienic process stops right there.
So an important part of the program is water education. How to get the water still clean from the taps back to the home. I must say I was really thrilled to see all this, but it was not until my visit to the Wesleyan Hospital on La Gonave that I realized the full extent to which the sponsorship program is helping the whole community. Miriam Jules is in her first year of nurses training. She and several of the other nurses were sponsored as children. And in fact, most of these nurses are now being supported through Tearfund's Training for Living program. It makes a lot of sense to have local girls nursing their own community. And it's a tribute to this group that, having been given broader horizons through sponsorship, they've seen it as an opportunity to stay and help those around them.
Situated across the sea, but it's a small world from any point of view. Spare a thought, this could have been you. You shut my sense and stirred my
You know, I was really quite encouraged by the things I'd seen on La Gonave. The schools, the wells, the hospital, and the effect the sponsorship program was having on people's lives. But as I saw more of Haiti, I realized there was another side to the poverty. Spiritual poverty. Because voodoo is still very much a part of daily life in Haiti. It binds the people in a spirit of fear and fatalism which cripples their sense of self-worth and their ability to deal with their own problems. Eleanor Turnbull is a missionary who has spent most of her life in Haiti. She knows only too well the effect voodoo has on people's lives, and as she told me, it all comes down to a fear of the dead.
Their whole life is taken up with appeasing, keeping happy the dead. It can be the immediate dead or it can be the long-time dead.
So how do they appease the dead, say, in this vault here?
Okay. This vault is part of the appeasement. The spending of the money to build it.
Building this elaborate-looking thing.
As a wonderful place for the dead to live, or as food and drink offerings, or ceremonies.
They bring that sort of stuff
here?
here?
They bring it all here in the cemetery, and it can be ancestors, because they believe that the dead are always out to do them harm.
And what's all this about? I mean, this all looks, I don't know.
This is a voodoo fetish. And the black cloth is to the god of death. The red is to Dambala, the chief god of the voodoo. You see, they have a cord. Many of their voodoo fetishes fall into binding the spirits to do what they have to do.
Okay.
You see the knots.
And how about these, Eleanor? I mean, look.
Well, these are halves of gourds, but they actually, in the voodoo, are used for sacrifice, food sacrifice. They put the design in there, again, to flatter the spirits.
Oh, yeah.
And they put the food there and leave it here in the cemetery for the spirits.
You know, obviously this film is is about children and their needs and etc. here. How does this voodoo thing affect them? Does it affect them directly, these young people that we see?
Yes, it does. Because voodoo affects the whole life of the Haitian people. The entire life, from the getting up in the morning until the sleeping at night. Their whole life is centered around that fear.
And of course, we hear a lot about curses and things, and for us sometimes it all seems as though we've just seen it in a movie. Is that cursing real? I mean,
it is.
It is.
Many children in Haiti are victims of voodoo curses. You have to remember that these children cannot know life without fear until they know Christ.
Right.
And through the sponsorship, through the schools, through learning to read, through the scriptures, these children are delivered from this.
You know, it's always a miracle to see the love of Christ breaking people free from the things that tie them down. And I was really thrilled to see the part sponsorship had to play in the process of real liberation.
The children seem to have no choice, and the children seem to have no...
I'd written this song just a few days before my visit to the Rivière Salé school near Cape Haitian in the north of Haiti. It was there I met Cecilia and was able to get an idea of how having a sponsor affects her life.
And it's time that you and I realize that by and by these children grow up into men. And it's clear that we must do what the Lord has told us to, give our brothers a chance to be born again.
The kids seemed to really enjoy their lessons, and so did I.
Très bien, Cassilia.
Many of these children come from families so poor that no one gets enough to eat. So by making sure that the children get at least one good meal a day, the schools in the sponsorship program give their pupils a really good chance of benefiting from their education.
Car Dieu a tant aimé le monde qu'il a donné son Fils unique, afin que quiconque croit en lui ne périsse point, mais qu'il ait la vie éternelle.
But not everything essential for a healthy life is taught in school. So sponsorship also includes what's called non-formal education. This can be about caring for animals, growing vegetables, eating properly, keeping healthy, and even the best way to brush your teeth.
Bon, n'a quitté Mathieu Chris et puis commencer à bosser. Bosser bien.
It's a small world. It's a small world. When the dreams you dream melt into Haitian skies. It's a small world. It's a small world. When you see it through a pair of Haitian eyes. When you see it through a pair of Haitian eyes. Pastor Camille, who helps administer the sponsorship program here, took me to visit Cassilia's home. Oh, and this must be Cassilia's mother.
Yeah.
Okay, will you introduce us?
Je voulais introduire Maman Cassilia.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Cassilia is 8 years old. Some while back, her father set off to the city in search of work and never returned, leaving her mother Lilia to look after her sister and herself. They are desperately poor and having a real struggle to make ends meet. Lilia is very grateful for the help they have been receiving from Cassilia's sponsor, and also from people in her own church who know her situation well. In fact, it was Pastor Camille who first noticed the family's plight and enrolled Cassilia in the sponsorship program. This is a Christian family, and the pastor told me that they pray for Cassilia's sponsor during family prayers every evening. And that really struck me. I mean, we tend to think that we're the ones who are giving and they're the ones receiving. But in fact, it's really a two-way process. You know, my trip to Haiti was a really terrific experience. Being able to watch sponsorship in action at such close quarters and to see the changes it's making in people's lives. I mean, I'd been pretty shocked by some of the things I'd seen and by the realization that so many children are just repeating the same cycle of poverty as their parents. But I'd also had the privilege of meeting people like Cassilia, Miriam Jules, Louis-Mar, and I'd seen the way sponsorship was giving them choices and a chance to escape. It's just not good enough to say that the trouble's too far away. 'Cause the little that you need to give could help a little child to live. Help a little longer, help them grow a little stronger. So why not play a part? If we're gonna do what the Lord has told us to, it's got to begin within your heart. Why don't you make a start? It's a small world, a small world. When
a far-off land. You can forge another link in a far-off land. Why don't you